This is the kind of corruption that Mississippians know all too well.
Anna Wolf's reporting at Mississippi Today exposed a huge scandal in the poorest state in America. $77 million in welfare funds intended for children in need went instead to multiple pet projects, including this horse ranch, this volleyball arena, and to sports celebrities like Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre. Favre was never charged, but the reporting led to 8 criminal indictments and journalism's biggest prize. Adam Ganeshow is the editor of the paper.
You can't just win a Pulitzer unless there's real impact.
2 days after the Pulitzer announcement, we got the first threat of legal action.
Former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, who was in office when the fraud occurred, is suing the newspaper, Wolf, and other staffers for defamation, saying Mississippi Today wrongly accused him of a crime. Allegations in court documents suggest Bryant was among those who directed the spending, but he maintains he did nothing illegal.
I did nothing wrong. I wasn't aware of the wrongdoings of others.
How would you explain to somebody who's never heard about this Phil Bryant's overall role in the welfare scandal?
So it's pretty well laid out. It doesn't say that he did anything illegal. This is an agency under the governor's office. I mean, he has control, he has oversight.
Bryant did not initially sue over the newspaper's prize-winning reporting. Instead, he brought the case over how the reporting was later described, including when the newspaper's CEO said Bryant embezzled funds, which is not true. He was never charged, and there's no indication he's under criminal investigation. Bryant's attorney, Billy Quinn, says that was the last straw.
So here we are to give, one of their favorite words, accountability to the situation. Well, the rabbit's got the gun now. We'll see who's going to be accountable.
The CEO apologized, but Bryant was not satisfied and got a court order saying Mississippi Today must give a judge internal files and communications with confidential sources to determine if Wolf acted out of malice or a reckless disregard for the truth.
Some people are going to look at that and say that's just seeking revenge.
Well, he didn't sue them because they exposed $77 million worth of misspending. He applauds them for doing that. Good on them. That's not what this suit is about. This suit is about defamation.
Mississippi Today is now asking the state Supreme Court to overturn the judge's order. If that doesn't happen, they say they'll look to the federal courts.
If it goes to trial or whatever.
What's at stake for a free press? Protecting confidential sources.
Are you willing to go to jail?
Yeah.
It's real, it's scary, but something I think we feel very strongly about.
Well, as you know, there's a long history of reporters going to jail to protect their sources.
Perhaps they will here. All I want is the money.
Meanwhile, advocates like Olita Fitzgerald, who have worked on behalf of Mississippi's children for decades, remain outraged by the scandal and grateful for the journalism.
Unleashing that story meant a lot to a lot of people and had them thinking differently about what government officials were saying about the well-being and what was going on in the state of Mississippi for poor families.
Ken Dilanian, NBC News, Jackson, Mississippi.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.